Black delivery driver, refuse service. The next day, he buys the whole store. The morning was just another delivery shift for Marcus Hill, a hard-working black driver who spent his days hauling packages across the city. But when he entered one high-end store, he wasn't met with a thank you. Instead, he was met with humiliation. The store manager sneered, refusing to let him step inside, claiming people like him didn't belong there. What Marcus didn't say was that his deliveries weren't his only work. The next day, the manager's smirk would vanish. When Marcus walked through the doors, not with a delivery, but with the deed to the entire store. Marcus Hill was 36 years old and known in his community as a man who never stopped working. By day, he was a delivery driver. By night, he pored over books, investment guides, and real estate contracts. Few people knew the full story. Marcus wasn't just earning a paycheck. He was building an empire, brick by brick, package by package. That morning, he was assigned a routine delivery to Harper & Co's, a luxury fashion boutique in the city's most expensive district. The boutique was where the wealthy came to flaunt their money, where even window shoppers were looked down upon. Marcus carried the heavy boxes with practiced ease and walked toward the glass doors. But the moment he stepped in, the air turned, heavy. The store manager, a tall man in a tailored suit named Richard, looked Marcus up and down with disgust. "Deliveries go around back," he barked, his tone dripping with contempt. Marcus politely explained that the back entrance was blocked with construction, and this was the only way in, but Richard cut him off. "You're not coming through here. We don't let delivery boys traipse through where real customers shop." His voice was loud enough that shoppers nearby turned to stare, some even laughing. Marcus felt the sting of humiliation burn deep, but he kept his composure. He simply turned, carried the boxes outside, and left without another word. No one in that store knew the truth. Marcus wasn't just a driver. He was a silent investor, a man with resources far beyond what his work uniform suggested, and by the next day, their arrogance would be shattered. That night, Marcus sat in his modest apartment, replaying the moment over and over. It wasn't the first time he had been treated that way. He had grown up hearing slurs, facing rejection, being underestimated. But he had promised himself one thing. He would turn every insult into fuel. He pulled out his laptop and reviewed the documents he had been preparing for weeks. Harper & Co's, the same boutique that had refused him entry, was in financial trouble. Behind the gleaming storefront, the company was drowning in debt, its parent firm desperate to sell off assets to cut losses. Marcus had been working with his lawyer to acquire properties in the district, and Harper & Co was already on his radar. All the manager had seen was a driver. What he didn't see was the man who had invested in real estate, flipped properties, and quietly built enough capital to take ownership of businesses far bigger than a single boutique. The next morning, Marcus dressed differently. No delivery, uniform, no boxes in hand. Instead, he wore a sharp suit, his posture confident, his presence commanding. In his briefcase was the paperwork that would change everything. When he arrived at Harper & Co, the same manager, Richard, spotted him immediately. At first, he didn't recognize him. Then his eyes narrowed. "We told you yesterday," Richard sneered. "Deliveries are around back." But this time, Marcus didn't turn away. Instead, he handed a folder to the receptionist, who read the documents with wide eyes. Her hands shook as she whispered to Richard, He's the new owner." The color drained from Richard's face. He stammered, trying to regain control. But Marcus walked past him calmly, taking in every detail of the store he now owned. The same shoppers who had laughed at him yesterday now looked on in stunned silence. The news spread through the boutique like wildfire. Employees whispered behind displays. Customers pulled out their phones, and Richard followed Marcus, desperate to explain. "Look, yesterday was just a misunderstanding," he stammered. "You have to understand we have rules about—" Marcus turned, his voice calm but firm. "Yesterday, You saw me as less than you. You embarrassed me in front of your customers. You judged me, not by my actions, but by my skin, by my uniform. And today, the only difference is the paper in this folder. But here's the truth. My value didn't change overnight. Your perception did. The silence that followed was deafening. Employees shifted uncomfortably, ashamed of how they had looked, away during the scene the day before. Even some customers lowered their heads, realizing they had joined in the mockery. Marcus continued, "This store isn't just a business now, it's a lesson. To every person who thinks they can measure another's worth by the clothes they wear or the job they hold, you never know who you're really looking at." Richard had no words. His arrogance had crumbled, replaced by the humiliation of being under the authority of the man he once mocked. Within weeks, Marcus made changes. The boutique's culture of elitism was dismantled. Employees were trained to treat everyone with respect. Delivery drivers, janitors, customers from every background. A section of the store was even dedicated to affordable fashion, designed to empower working-class individuals, a move Marcus insisted upon. As for Richard, Marcus didn't fire him immediately. Instead, he reassigned him to manage the delivery and logistics department. Every day, Richard would now work alongside the very people he had once considered beneath him. Marcus visited the store often, not to boast, but to ensure the change was real. Each time he stepped inside, he remembered that moment of humiliation and how easily it could have crushed him. But instead, it became his victory. The lessons spread far beyond the boutique. Newspapers covered the story of the delivery driver turned owner, inspiring countless others to see past prejudice and never underestimate quiet determination. And as Marcus looked out across the bustling store one afternoon, he whispered to himself, "Sometimes the best revenge isn't revenge at all. It's showing the world you were worth more than they ever imagined." Arrogance may laugh today, but humility and persistence always win tomorrow. So when you look at someone and think they don't belong, ask yourself, what if tomorrow they own the place you're standing in?